Hello viewers, welcome to Berge Media Studio on another section with us here in Berge Media Podcast under the series Behind the Scene. My name is Kingsley C. Friday. I am right here with our very guest, Pastor Emmanuel. Pastor, can we meet you?
All right. My name is Pastor Emmanuel, but popularly known as Pastor UGO, and I'm excited to be here live with you today. It's an honor. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pastor. I'm delighted to also have you here. At least, I believe as I'm sitting close to you, I'm getting the little blessings of God. The one that is hovering all over you.
Feel free, it's free.
Thank you very much. So viewers, today we'll be talking on a very delicate topic, and which we are going to simplify, and which we are going to drop in little chunks on the topic that says the young minister. And this young minister is going to flow in various series, and we are going to make sure that we are going to give us a full insight and make sure that we get a full insight on the life of a young minister. So, Pastor, since you are a pastor, I believe that this is a very familiar topic for you.
Yeah, of course. And then coincidentally, I'm the president of Umahia Young Ministers Forum too.
Wow.
So I think it's a perfect topic for discussion.
Wow. So, just as we are starting, can you tell me and tell the audience who a young minister is?
Okay, a minister is a minister. The young minister there is that he's younger than maybe as expected. Okay. So a young minister is that young person, that youth that has been called into ministry by God.
Okay. So that young person, is there an age difference? Is there a particular age that somebody can start doing something and you say that the person is a young minister?
Okay. Although I am very skeptical when I'm defining who a young minister is, because most times it's not all about the age alone. You know, okay. Somebody can be 18 years old and enter ministry, and he's well trained and organized and more equipped than somebody who is 70 years in ministry. So, but all the same, based on the context we are coming from, as a young minister is, I can say age grade, anything below 49 is a young minister to me.
So, a person, can we say a teenager can be equated to be a young minister?
Yeah, a teenager could be called by God and is a young minister. Timothy in the scriptures, he was quite young when he was called. And I've seen other young people even in Nigeria, in Abia State, guys who are teenagers, and they are doing very great in ministry. So a teenager can be a young minister. It's a child of 12 years who has been called into ministry by God, anointed. Is also a young minister.
Okay. So can you help and define the word ministry?
Okay, ministry would be equated to military for me, okay, because the work of a minister can also be extracted in the life of a military personnel. So okay, ministry is doing the will of God on earth.
Okay.
That is in summary, in the layman's term, is preaching, pastoring, nurturing believers to becoming what they should be in Christ, and all the focus is for them to make heaven. So anybody who is into who is a pastor by calling, evangelist by calling, apostle by calling, prophet by calling, teacher by calling, every one of them is ministry. Even a music minister is also into ministry.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you talk about call. That will bring us to the next question. How can a young person know that he has been called?
Okay, permit me to digress a bit, because it could be funny. I've had people say that they were not doing well. Maybe the business was folding, or their business folded, and maybe academically they are not doing well. And all of a sudden they say because of that they have been called by God. No, God does not call frustrated people. Frustration is not calling. So when we talk about calling, there are so many people that were called at birth. Maybe there were prophecies that came with their birth, and they said, and God said, these people will join ministry, they will do so and so thing for me at a particular age. But there are some other people that got called at a particular age. Also, maybe they had grown up. So call there is a clear invitation to do ministry, a clear invitation by God to go and preach the gospel. Everybody has been called, but there's also a specific call whereby you have been called to preach the gospel, to bring emancipation, liberation to the souls of men. There are people that have specific calling for different things. So call is specific invitation by God to do ministry.
So how do I know that I've been called and given that specific invitation?
Okay. Everybody has a specific way or a particular way God called them. So that God spoke to me directly and expressly and said, this doesn't mean that he will say that to someone else. He can come through dreams for somebody else. But for me, I would say, if how you will know you have been called by God is first, that specific direct invitation, either by vision, either directly. You hear the voice of God directly, and he's saying to you, this is what I want to do. Or there's this leading in your heart. No, there is not a wanting, a leading. There's a difference between wanting and leading. You know, there's a direct, specific leading that has removed peace from your heart. Okay. You get, and it is specific to a particular direction, maybe for the apostolic oppression, the prophetic, but majorly the foundation of it all is preaching the gospel and bringing liberation to the soul of men, delivering them from darkness into the marvelous light of God. So it must be direct. Is that God speaks to you direct. After Apostle Paul, when he was called into ministry, he had a direct contact with Jesus, and Jesus said to him, Paul, I'm the one you have been persecuting. Why persecuted thou me? And that was a direct call from God. And God said, go to the house of so and so, he will nurture you. And you know all the story and the processes that came after that. So there must be a specific conviction that God is calling you.
So at what age did God call you?
Okay, for me, my call took a drastic turn. It was by will I say it came by stages. But I would say specifically, I got clearance of the call at 17. That's when I got clearance of the calling. Although my mom had specific prophecies about me even after birth and the rest of them, and she was telling me about them. But as a person, I didn't want to be a pastor, but I wanted to be a good Christian, but not a pastor. You get, because I knew I am the first son of my house, so I was like, what am I coming to be? I felt that pastors are wretched people. So for me, at 17, I started seeing the hand of God upon my life. I started seeing that express persuasion to do the calling. And there were some other funny experiences that came to, especially the one that gave me the perfect conviction was when I was walking down with my brother and my sister along the road, and I met a drunkard who called my name specifically, and he said to me that I should go and answer the call of God upon my life. And I was like, huh? So in the evening when I was coming back, I was coming back alone, and I saw a crowd gathered, and I looked at the direction where they were looking at. It was that young man that spoke to me. He was there. And while I was looking at him, I had a specific voice for the first time, the voice of God. And he said to me, I preserved this young man since I've been talking to you through other means, and he didn't want to listen to me. I preserved him to give you the message, and I called him, and he's dead. So God said to me specifically, if you don't answer this call, this is how you might look like. You know, after some time. So it was very persuasive, and today I don't regret answering the call. I'm glad that I answered the call.
So what was the process like when you decided to answer the call? What were the processes that you went through?
Okay, number one, it wasn't an easy one at all, because I had friends I had other plans. I was actually pushing to to study at Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, and by God's grace, the process was on. My friends, all of them got admission, but I was kind of frustrated. So finally, I decided to go and visit the school. And getting to the school, I had a little kind of drama I've never seen before. The registrar's office was open, but for me to enter was a problem. It was as if there was a blockage. And the secretary to the registrar looked at me and she said to me, I don't know who that lady is. She just said to me, go back, you are not meant to be here. So right there, God said to me there, I told you to go to the Bible school. I said, wow, Bible school? But first of all, there was repentance. I was already a child of God, but I didn't want to be a pastor. So it was quite easier for me because I was already a child of God. So I now headed to the Bible school. Getting to the Bible school, the first person who met me was a man. He's a reverend. We'll call him Elder. He looked at me. I don't know if he will remember now. He said to me, Imechalabia here. That is in Igbo language. Imechalabia here, which meaning, we finally come to this. They decided to come. So I went to find the processes and the rest of them, the whole blah 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 with school, and I was given admission to study in the Bible school. Although it was not easy because in my church you must get to a certain age as a full member, and I had not really gotten to it. Was remaining 1 year, so I had excuses. I said, God, thank God though that I had excuses. You get, I was like, oh, at least for 1 year, so I don't need to be here. So I started teaching in a school and I thought that was where God started to build me on how to talk to people, how to handle people, how to teach people. So I think it was an experience. Then I went to Bible school, studied for 3 years, diploma, then also furthered and did what we call degree. I did missions and communications, and then plus other school of ministries I also partook in, and also went under mentorship. So it's a whole lot of process.
Wow. Okay. With your experience, with what you have shared, I want to further ask another question. You said something about the way God used a drunkard to minister to you. Now, there are so many young people out there who their family, they are from a clergy home, right? From little, since their father is a pastor, a reverend, they are close to church. They are always in church. They have been showed the way of being a Christian,
Yes.
right? So with all these people, with all this zeal, with what they have learned, with the responsibilities, they have learned how to teach. They'll place them, teach here, teach here, teach here, teach here. How can such a person decipher whether he is called into ministry or whether he is born into ministry?
This is a very critical question. The greatest threat to spirituality is religion. Okay. And religion is our major problem in this time. That, we have so many people, especially Levites, people who their fathers are pastors or ministers, or some their fathers or parents are deacons, deaconesses, some of them. But the problem is that most of these people are Christians by profession. Christians by birth and not Christians by experience and revelation. So, and that is the major problem we are having. And that's why you see so many of them, they grow into church touts because they never gave their lives to Christ. They just came up and they saw themselves increase. I'm a victim of that actually, because I came from a very Christian home. My father called born again, my mother called born again. So at some point I was used to religion, used to creeds of the scriptures, especially from the church I'm coming from. We Sunday school is a foundation for every child. So the scriptures, you can interpret the scriptures even more than the pastor. You get? So it affected me at the early stage of my life. I was not like this. I was a Christian by birth, but not by experience. So it affected me. I was living a very funny life. I was into a lot of things. Especially I stole my mom's money too much. I dealt with her because I lost my father at a younger age. So my mom trained me. So I dealt with my mother. to an extent. So, but people, I'll still come to church and everybody's like, hey, we want your son to look like this guy to be. Because I was like a deacon in the children department then, a chief deacon for that matter. So I was doing well. Everybody was looking up to me. Everybody wanted their children to do like me. But I knew that I was not normal until I got a personal encounter at CEM. I can never forget. It's called Children Evangelism Ministry through a woman called Mommy Ezudo, a blessing. So through her ministration, I gave my life to Christ and the process started. So now the problem we have, based on the question you asked me, some of these clergy sons of clergymen that didn't have experience of salvation. Some of them, you just see them, they want to take over from their father. So because my father is a pastor in a particular church and he's known, so since he's going, it has not become a transgenerational thing. So whether I'm saved or not, I just take over it's not a business. So my father is exiting, I'm taking over. So you see some of them call their children their name. So you now hear something like Junior. So let's say UGO Junior. So my son wants to take over from me and he does not have experience of salvation. It's a major problem. So, but the truth of the matter is, anybody who has a genuine experience, you will know the difference is clear. Because the person is not doing it because my father is doing it. The person has a core and a total and a righteous and a recognizable salvation experience. Some of these people, how you know that they are not saved? They cannot tell you the experience of their salvation. So when a man does not have experience of his salvation, he cannot be called into ministry. God is not confused.
Okay. So this very person needs to have experience for you to actually know you have been called into ministry, not born into ministry. Okay, that is that for the call. So now, what can you say is your regrets? You know, the very reason for this podcast is just to tell the people the undiluted truth, because I know whatever decision anybody takes, there are points in life where you sit down, I think I'm regretting this. So what can you say were the regrets that you had for answering the call of being a minister?
Well, actually, there are no regrets for me.
Okay.
If there's a regret, I would say I regret not starting when I should start. Because if I had started when I should have started, by now the speed would have been much.
Okay.
So I think that's my regret, that I did not answer the call quite early that I should answer. Then secondly, in fact, there's no regrets. Although the only thing I am praying for, and which I'm still working on, is to gather more educational background. You know, not just education, exposure to a particular level, and more trainings. You know, it will also help me to reach out wider than the reach we have already gotten to by the grace of God. So I don't have any regrets. I'm happy, because the truth of the matter is there are so many of my friends who that they feel that they are ahead of me. They were ahead of me because maybe the fact that I was going to Bible school and the rest of them. So, but today I can frankly say, and I can say it with every alacrity that I'm ahead of many of them. Some of them are looking up to me today, and so I want to thank God for that. So there are no regrets at all.
So there are no regrets. There was never a point in time where you felt like your call has limited you to something.
No, it never
even an opportunity as a young person.
Although the truth of the matter is, if there are limitations of opportunities, it should be on a sacred, like on the secular space you get. But yet, by the grace of God, some of us are beating the records that even the secular space wants. Some of us have been opportune to teach and train so many organizations that are not sacred organizations. So I think I've broken that barrier, and I'm glad that so many ministers also are breaking the barrier of just that we are only qualified in the sacred world. At least by the grace of God, I have so many of them that are lecturers in the universities, and by the grace of God, I'm also working towards that one of these days I'll be lecturing in the university too. So I think there are no restrictions for me any longer.
So there are now we, as we're discussing about the young minister, right? We moved from the call. We are from the call, right? How
Yeah.
you got salvation. Now, we are speaking to a 15-year-old or 18-year-old youth who is answering this call, right?
Yeah.
What we are trying to do here is to make him understand the process there, right?
Yeah.
So now, with what you are saying now, are you trying to tell this 18-year-old that there is no actual physical limitation he's going to face now? Are you just sharing us a testimony that you don't have a regret?
The call is a personal thing. So for me, I have no regrets, but somebody might have regrets. But depending on what you had before you came, what your that's why I tell people that conviction is greater than revelation. When you have conviction of something, you are sure of it.
Did you at any point want have the thought of going back?
No. I never did.
Especially when you started answering the call. Did you at a point, I'm not doing again. I don't want to do it.
No, I never did. I don't think I've never ever thought of not doing it. Although the truth of the matter is, at the beginning, it might not really be easy. Especially when you're letting go of so many things, you're letting go of your career, your business, or some influences you once had. It's not really easy, but like I said, conviction matters a lot. I had a conviction, and that conviction is what is pushing me till today. So if I don't have any day I lose my conviction, I will stop ministry.
So what's the conviction?
So my conviction is what I had before I came. And what was that? He said to me, I called you for this, and I will be with you till the end. Then there's one word I can never forget. He said to me, what certificate cannot give to you, I'll give it to you. And today I'm seeing that thing manifest in my life. What certificate cannot give to me? Not that I don't have certificates now, but my certificates are useless to me. You get, because what ministry, the platforms and the influence and the opportunities I've had, maybe my certificates wouldn't have gotten me to that place. So that's my conviction, and I've seen the hand of God upon my life, and I'm seeing it on a daily basis. So, and by the grace of God, nobody comes near me and will not say he has not seen the hand of God upon my life. So that's my conviction.
Okay, thank you very much. That will be that for the call, and I believe that any young person out there who have decided to answer this call should learn from you, right? There is always light at the end of the tunnel. The journey is not always going to be rosy, it's not always going to be juicy, but at the end, it will really worth it.
Yes.
Okay, now, moving away from the call, after you answer a call, it is actually wise that you go under someone, under someone's tutelage to get strength. Did you ever experience being trained into ministry?
Yeah. By the grace of God, one of the things that helped me was access to fathers, access to elders, people that had gone ahead of me. No minister can do well without submitting under someone. That's the truth of the matter. In fact, if you are not able to submit under somebody who is higher than you, you might find it difficult to submit under God.
So are you submitting under fathers, or are you submitting under a mentor?
Now, I have mentors. I also have a spiritual father.
Okay.
I have mentors, people that helped me in my work, in my journey. Until tomorrow, I still call them my mentors. They are helping me. But there is only one spiritual father I have. So, so I submit under mentorship, submit to mentorship, and also submit to a father.
So how can I explain to my viewers now that this person in their life is a mentor and this person in their life is a father?
Okay. All right. A mentor is somebody that is a guide on a particular path. For example, I had someone who mentored me in prayer. He taught me how to pray, how to stay in the place of prayer. And I can never forget him, and I don't forget him. I honor the grace upon his life till tomorrow. I also have had someone who taught me how to study scripture. He opened my eyes to study. These are people. I also had someone who mentored me in the aspect of public speaking. You get someone who helped me in the aspect of public speaking, and also took me to one or two places to understand this. Then I have a spiritual father. A spiritual father is that person who is standing like a spiritual guide over my life. And his influence is very strong. Now there are barriers a mentor will have. A mentor might not be able to. A mentor will rebuke and say, "Don't do it." But a father is someone that can spank you. He has the authority to spank you. He has the authority. He has a spiritual eyes over you. He has a spiritual antenna over you. So God can rebuke you through him. God can speak to him and say, "Look at where your son is going wrong," and he will rebuke you. You get, yeah, and he's the one that you might not really open up to your mentor, but you can open up to your spiritual father, because he can stand by you. A spiritual father is that person that would tolerate, that would in public cover your nakedness, but in secret he will expose you and beat you, scold you and correct you, yet he will come in public and not turn his back on you.
Okay, so you said you have various personalities who shaped your life, who mentored your life all through the process of being a young minister.
Yes.
So this can't someone's spiritual father also take the responsibility of a mentor?
Okay. Yeah. A spiritual father is also your mentor, but your mentor may not be your spiritual father.
Okay, spiritual father.
Yeah,
can
spiritual
be
father can be him. He's also mentoring you, but his mentor may not be your spiritual father.
So now, if someone is to have various, is it advisable to have various mentors as you have?
Yeah, I tell people it's good to have mentors, but I wouldn't want anyone to you have a multitude of mentors. No, it can be confusing, because when you are hearing different voices, you don't know the one to follow. So I can say you can have up to 1, 2, 3 mentors, but you have only one spiritual father.
Okay, so a mentor now teaches you. You have a personality who taught you how to pray. The other person taught you how to maybe you said public speaking, right?
Yeah.
So now let us bring it now. We have, in Nigeria, we have our churches are more like, I don't know if I can use the word divided. I'll just use various religious setting. The Catholic have their different way of praying, right?
Yes.
The way we pray, the way someone in Pentecostal prays is not the way the Catholics pray.
Yep.
So now, if you are a Catholic, do you find mentor in only Catholic, or do you diversify?
Okay. Every community, or let me say every denomination, has their way, their principles. But I would always, in this 21st century, even when I say 22nd century, I don't. Well, it's about personality. It's your personal choice. But me, I don't think you should limit yourself to only where you are coming from, because if your mentor is your mentors are limited to just where you are coming from, the denomination you belong to, you find out that you might not grow, you might not be accepted more out of that denomination, because you only have an ideology of that particular denomination. So your exposure, your learning might be limited to a particular mentality. So I will not advise any young minister to submit to only a mentor in your denomination. You can also break camp. Even God said to the children of Israel, break camp, advance. So if you have mentors from 1 or 2 other denominations, or even it might not even really be only a minister. A minister alone should not be your mentor. You can also have a mentor that is not a minister. He can also help you out. He helps you to be versatile. You can future in any field. So it's not just limited to so like me, most of my mentors are not really from my denomination.
Okay.
In fact, my spiritual father is not from my denomination, but 1 or 2 of my mentors are from my denomination. But my spiritual father, who I recognize as a spiritual father, is not from my denomination. And yet, I have not deviated. I don't deviate. I still obey authority in my denomination.
So now, talking about someone whose spiritual father is from another denomination, right?
Yeah.
You know, there is this philosophy that we are getting it wrong. This is how we pray. This is how we do this one. This certain denomination, they don't read the Bible. They do this kind of practice, just like the cherubim and the seraphim. You know, what they do is different. They are into all this. I won't like to use the word that I have in mind, but whatever their practice is just like a spiritual practice. Now, if your spiritual father happens to be, for example, from the cherubim and seraphim, right? And these are practices that they do, and they believe that these practices are right. These are the right thing that we do to get down the presence of God, to deal with sickness. And you are, that is his spiritual son. You are not doing those things. How do you think that he sees that you're doing the right thing? Since you are not doing the things that he believes, he knows that is the right thing.
Okay, this is serious. This is serious. Let me use myself as an example. My spiritual father, there are things he does, which are not bad, but because I belong to a denomination that might not practice some of those things, I don't do that. Now, my spiritual father does not compel us to do everything he does.
Okay.
Now, that he's your spiritual father doesn't mean that you should portray everything about him 100%.
Okay.
He's a human being. So he too has his deficiencies.
Okay.
So you should also be able to maintain your own originality, despite the fact you are submitting under a man. So that a man, even your spiritual father also, my spiritual father has his flaws, that things I don't really accept about him. But I take the ones that are right. I take the ones I want to get. And the ones I don't want, I leave them.
Okay, now let's moving over to still on this mentorship now.
Yeah.
What were the challenges that you experienced while being mentored by your spiritual father and the other mentors who helped shape your life?
Okay. First of all, the challenge of submission. That you are just coming out and somebody is not directly your father, and the person is talking as if he's your father. Like he's controlling your movements. He's controlling your thoughts, the things you already think you thought you knew. He's unlimited. He's cutting them off. Restrictions. You get restrictions. They are restricting you from going to this place, restricting you from things you usually enjoy. You get all those things. We are one of the. In fact, these are major challenges I face. Then also, they will consciously humiliate you just to know what you can do. I can remember there were times in my life where my mentors will humiliate. Like one of them, as a minister, he will have crusades. Sometimes he will put my face on the flyer and the banner, and I will not minister. You get people that I felt that we are not his direct we are not his mentees. You get, they are coming from other places, but there are ministers I know that I'm higher than. Some of them I was higher than them in the Bible school. Some of them are higher than them. I know that I'm higher than them in maybe in age or experience. But they will come, they will minister. He will treat them very nicely, honor them, but they will not honor me. Sometimes I will be the one to receive those people that I'm older than, I'm more experienced than, I'm seniors, and they are seniors in the Bible school. But I will receive them. I would serve them because my mentor wants me to serve them. Sometimes they will finish preaching, I'll go and carry speakers. Be carrying speakers on my head, carrying things and be taking them in. Sometimes he will rebuke me. I can remember one incident where one of them ministered, and my mentor then asked me to come and preach. Like I should come and lead prayers. So I was leading prayers and I exceeded the time by 1 minute. He knelt me down in public and he shouted that to me. Hey, I felt embarrassed in the public that the same people I ministered to, were like, man of God. I was kneeling down before them. And he even said, carry this one, come on, will you get out of here? So you see, the challenge of submitting despite the hardship, the hard training, the challenge of mellowing down, being humble to accept those trainings. It was not an easy one. So it's a major challenge, sir.
So can we say that this kind of gesture, so many people complain about this, even in apart from the ministry scenario that we are using now, these are challenges that people experience.
Yeah.
The higher authority loves to exert power and use this tool of humiliation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll first of all ask you, if you are right now, I should believe that maybe there are people that you should be mentoring by now.
Okay.
Do you think you can follow the path of humiliating your mentee for exceeding 1 minute of prayer time?
This is a serious question because some of my mentees will be watching this thing.
So this is nice, though. And this is it. Do you think from your own?
Yeah.
There are experiences that we have.
Yeah.
There are ways that you kind of like you want to show this. For me, I would say that maybe it's not always nice to do this, but I believe with that rebuke that he gave you public, you will not try to exceed 1 minute.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you are in that position, can you punish somebody in such a manner for exceeding 1 minute?
Okay. Well. Okay. Let me call that. By God's grace, I run an outreach of young people.
Okay.
I have an outreach of young people with one or two expressions outside Umahia. By God's grace, let me not exaggerate, but I think I can say I'm running a mentorship network where I have almost not less than 400 youths under me.
Wow.
So I also have BOA members, pastors under me too. But by the grace of God, I am disciplined to an extent, but I'm not too harsh. The way my fathers or my mentors handled me, I don't handle them like that, but I also have my own means of instilling discipline.
Okay.
I might not come in the public and begin to slap you or beat you, but there's a way I'll look at you. You would know that this is a rebuke, and thank God for them. They recognize themselves and they come back to the script. You get. I might not be harsh to slap that, but although one or two occasions, there are occasions where I could remember there was this occasion. I regret it, but it had to happen, and it happened on live camera. We are running a retreat, our monthly retreat, and there's this daughter of mine. She's a music minister, so she was. I don't know. There was something she did, and I had already given her sign not to do that. I did it first and second time. So the last time she did that, I didn't know that the camera was on me. I slapped her. I just kind of spanked her. And I was surprised. When I went back to my seat, I got a text message from one of my covenant brothers. I said to me, why did you slap this girl on camera? I said, Jesus, did this thing come on camera? So now I corrected that. She didn't feel bad about it. She received the correction, but I felt bad about it. I thought that it was to the extreme. So I wouldn't use the same measure that was used on me to exert discipline on them, but I have my own ways that are not that harsh.
Okay, I'm correcting people in such a manner at some point is not actually wrong. Yeah. I'm not asking the question because I think that they did the wrong thing. Because there is this saying, they said tough times make tough men. Then tough men make soft times. Then soft times make tough times make strong men. Strong men make soft times. Then soft times make weak men. And weak men make tough times. Right? So if with the way your mentors have shaped your life, right? They made you tough.
Yeah.
They have made you these tough Christians. But if you find out now, you even find out that you might be making weak people because you are lenient. See how you are feeling so guilty for spanking the lady. the kind of toughness that you got, you won't inculcate it into them because you're kind of like lenient. Because if you're so tough with them, like your fathers were,
Yeah.
I believe they will be so tough. So don't you think that not actually being this tough, if your mentors were not this tough, do you think they would have made someone like you?
Okay. Your definition of toughness might not be mine. I'm tough.
Okay.
But that I did not. I might decide that my toughness will not be beating you.
Okay.
You get. For example, people that are under me can tell you I'm very strict. I can be very strict and disciplined. So they already know. So that I don't slap you doesn't mean I'm not tough. I also have my ways of disciplining you. For example, yesterday night we are running. Currently I'm running a 10 days fasting, praying, and teaching series.
Okay.
Yeah. In the network I run, and one of my leaders was supposed to take up a role. So I asked her, why didn't you take up this role or so? I told her what to do, and she was like complaining, Dad, I have an assistant, and I'm in school. I told her, okay, no problem. So when I now shared the role, I did not include her. Unlike her other meetings, I include her. So she came to me immediately. She started crying. She called me on phone and she said to me, Dad, is it because of what I said that you benched me? I'm feeling guilty. I'm sorry, sir. But I told her I will bench you for some time so you know that you're not irreplaceable. And because of that, it was punishment to her. She was feeling. So if I had slapped her or flogged her, she might not feel the way she's feeling now. But that's my way of disciplining her. And she's not seeing the importance of being neglected. Now, because when she looks around, people are saying, this one, she's not handling this thing. And they know that she usually handles this kind of thing. And she will like, oh, who knows what she did? So she's feeling humiliated that, hey, she has been off the thing and people will talk. That's discipline for her.
Okay.
There's also another ways I also discipline other people. I can decide to, like, there was a time I benched somebody. That person was not able to handle mic for over 6 months. Irrelevant. I did not put, like, normally people know me that in my meetings I would like to host some of my sons, my daughters. I believe in showcasing mine. So I'll bench some of them. And none of them, they will not see them on the flyer. Nobody will call them, nothing, no ministration. Sometimes I say no ministry will call you for 6 months. You will not minister, you will not be heard. You will just come to fellowship and sit down and be watching and be looking at others. Even people that you trained, you will see them ministering and you are sitting for 6 months. What other discipline is more than that? Are you getting it? So those are my ways of disciplining people, and because of that, they value it more because they know that Papa, Dad will stretch me for more than. So I don't want to be in that hustle. It's just like in prison, safe house arrest. You are not of no value, but you are valued too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like you said, thank God you made me know earlier. You told us that ministry is like military.
Yes.
So even while you were being mentored,
Yeah.
were there certain situations where you thought that your reasoning, your excuse was worth it, but they didn't? They still punished you for a reasonable excuse.
Yes, that will always come up. You feel that you have excuse, but to them, those excuses are not excuses. You get, it's a normal thing. Even right now, there are sometimes my people will also give me excuses. I'll say, that's your business. Like one of them told me that I'm currently sick, I'm having headache and cannot handle this thing. I told him, even if you're in the valley of the shadow of death, you will minister from there. You do that thing from there. You handle that matter from there. You get, because if you are a military personnel and there's war, you will not, because you have running stomach, you will not go to war. You go to war. You will carry your gun because it's a matter of life and death. If you don't defend yourself, you will die. Okay, imagine you are in the toilet and there is a whistle that there is war, that they are shooting. Will you stay in the toilet? You will run out now because this is military. This is what you are called for. So that's how it is. There were times I gave excuses, but yet even in the excuse, I must do it. There was a time I had hepatitis. I was down, very sick. Yet my mentor would say, "You are going to minister. You are going to teach." Sometimes you give 3 days. you minister with that thing, I will still do it. I did not die. Some of those things are what trained us and made us. We are tough. We have tough bodies now. That's why I can minister in a series for 1 month. I'm not tired. I'm running for 1 month. I'm not tired. Sometimes people will see me. I'm ministering in this church. I'm ministering the same church. I'm ministering like 3 or 4 places in a day. And they're like, "Are you not tired?" I said, "No, I've been trained." Yes, I've been trained. So excuses. Sometimes we consider, sometimes the ones we feel are irrelevant, we don't consider them, because ministry is military. There is no software for ministry. Everything is hardware. You must do it the hard way.
So can't we say that just like the excuse you gave, you had hepatitis and you were given assignment to do for 3 days. What if something had happened to you?
Okay. By the way, something didn't happen to me. That's why I'm here on your show today.
Were there situations where some of your colleagues
Yeah.
who were still being mentored, you had news that this person broke down, this thing happened to this person? Were there scenarios where
there were scenarios where people broke down. Well, I don't neglect the fact of rest. The fact that I don't neglect that rest is very important. Once in a while you rest. But if your spiritual father or your mentor feels that you are not going to die, you will do this thing. You don't have a choice. You do it. You get now. They are, that's why they are fathers. They are not wrong. They know that your body can carry it, and they'll give it to you. Because there are times now, for example, there are times we are sick and we'll mount the stage and we'll minister healing to other people, and we'll come back and we are sick. The healing did not affect us. It affected only people, but we'll still preach and do it. You know how many times pastors are in pain and they are preaching? The work of a pastor is very, very tedious, because it's emotionally draining. Because a pastor would dedicate a baby in the morning and is rejoicing with the family, and officiate a wedding in the afternoon and is rejoicing with the family, but in the evening he'll go and bury somebody and he will still mourn with you. So have you asked yourself, how does he do these emotions? That he switched from one emotion, from celebration to mourning, and he will come back to his house and find out that his wife is very sick, and yet he will still mount the stage and minister as if nothing happened. It's a training. So if we didn't pass through these trainings, we might not be able to be emotionally stable to handle the pressure that comes with ministry.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
So during your period of mentorship, what would you say were the certain threats that you saw in your mentors that you said, no, I won't inculcate this threat?
You want to put me on the hot seat because some of my mentors might watch this. Well, the truth of the matter is, no man is perfect. Before he became a man of God, he was a man.
Yeah.
Or he is a man.
Yes.
There are traits that we'll see, and we'll still not pick them. Some of them might be, I'm not trying to say it is, but there are some that might be, maybe you don't like the way the person, the relationship he has with other ministers like him. Maybe some of them don't have good. Some people can be good preachers, but they are not good in relationships, in keeping relationships. Then too, also I've seen anointed men, but they have empty churches because of administrative deficiency. So there are some of my mentors that they are anointed. They might be anointed, but they don't have administrative prowess. They are not good in administration. So they are not good in calling you. They don't know how to check up on me. They don't care. You get. There are some also that I don't like the way maybe they talk about people. You get. They talk against people. So some of them I might not like. Like I said, I'm not saying he's my mentor, but there are some other people that I might not like the relationship they have with their family, their wife, their children. So I would not want to pick that. Some of them might not be. There are some ethics that they break, and I don't want to break those ethics. Some might be greed, financial greed. You get. So I wouldn't want to pick up some of those things. So definitely there are ethics that you see. There are things you see in your mentor. That's why I said, just pick the one you feel that is right and leave the rest.
This question I asked. I have a friend. We two of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, 5 of us, so that the person will not actually know I'm talking about him. So we visited someone. He told me he wanted this person to mentor him, right? That this person is more like a mentor. But something happened. They were like 5, 6, 1, 2 of them that they were under this man's tutelage. So he joined that other person to be mentored by this man. Now something happened that broke the camel's back. The person that he was a fellow mentee with lost his life. Now he told me that this man didn't show any remorse. Just like posting on a WhatsApp group, I lost a mentee, even in church. Now this same friend of mine told me that he found himself, he lost someone also. This person that is his mentor didn't even call him for one day. I heard you lost your dad. How did you do it? How did the burial go? So now, with this kind of trait now, did you experience something like this kind of negligence during your period of being mentored?
Well, I was kind of lucky with mentors that cared. They were always calling me. They're always trying to check up on me. How are you doing? But I've also been under pastors.
Okay.
Pastors. Even before I started pastors, I've been under too. That did not care. That didn't care. So the truth of the matter is, in as much as I don't support that, I still wouldn't talk against anybody, because the load on a man might be too much. You don't know. Now I'm using myself as a point of, as an example. For example, there are some of my mentees I've just seen them once or twice. Some of them are out of the country. Some of them are online. Sometimes they drop messages and it takes me weeks to check on those messages, because I might come, like for example, I hardly chat on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, because I don't go there, because messages are numerous. Now WhatsApp, I can open my WhatsApp now. Just these few minutes that we are doing this interview, I might come online now, myself to 50 messages or 100, and you're like, what is this? So which one will you? The same time you are looking at that, you are looking at your personal life, you're also trying to satisfy other demands from other people, so you might not have time. So most time you might not blame them, or you might not blame mentors because they may be busy, and sometimes they don't even, they might not even remember they have not asked you. You get you, and you are busy blaming him. He might not even remember, and you don't know the pressure he's under, and you are trying to force him to, you are blaming him that he has not asked or checked up on you. That's where rebellion starts from. Rebellion, that's where it starts from. Feeling that you are too important, that you must be checked on. It's already a rebellious act. Calm down. If he checks on you, take it like, if you don't, you can still remind him, Daddy, I lost somebody. And we're like, Jesus, I didn't know. You might be shocked that he didn't know. And you might think he's viewing your status. He did not feel it. He did not see anything. He did not know until you tell him. And that is why it's important that when certain things happen to you, you tell your mentor. You tell your father. Don't assume he knows. Assumption is not good in this kingdom. Assumption is a problem. Don't always assume. Make a move.
So what if you're under a pastor? Let's just remove the word mentor. You're under a pastor, right? Under his tutelage. In this same church, they announced the burial of your loved one. So, can you still excuse the pastor that he doesn't know that he lost someone?
Okay. Now, everybody has their differences. Everybody has their temperament, has what is priority to them. Now, if he asks you about it, thank God. If he doesn't ask you, leave it. Don't bear grudges, because the moment you begin to bear grudges against your mentor, you begin to disconnect yourself from the grace he carries, or disconnect yourself from what he's about to pass to you. You get? So I would say, don't bear grudges. Take it like that. He might still not ask you, but he might still do something in another way.
Okay.
You get? So don't make it a habit of thinking that there's this thing, there's a word we use, feeling entitled. Entitlement. That's the problem. So you have to remove entitlement. If it happens, it happens. If he asks you, you are good. If he does not ask you, forget about it and move on.
Okay.
For your own good.
So you were so lucky with mentors. I think so many young ministers out there will envy you. because I know they have this kind of I know they have this particular complaint. I think this is the problem with mentors and mentees, this particular thing. So can you in summary just share with a young pastor, a young minister out there what you experienced and the advices you can give to the person that will help shape his mentorship process?
Okay. First of all, you don't choose a mentor because this person is famous. I see a mistake people make by going, you just see somebody I've never met before. Just because you watch his messages, you are claiming he's your father. You are claiming he's your mentor. Nobody can. There's nothing like distance mentoring. We don't believe in those kind of things. Like, you have not met this man, but you're asking, he's my father. I see many people make that mistake.
Okay.
You see this father doing well because you like his message. People are talking like, he's my father. You post it. He has never met you before. A man has never met you before cannot be your mentor. You must be on a physical. You must talk. These are not days where we do letter mentoring. Face, you meet him. He needs to know you. That some people some people are mentees to people who don't know that they are mentees.
Yeah.
You know, your fathers. There are people that are forcing fatherhood on you. You don't know them.
You don't know them.
You don't know them.
Yeah,
So I would say don't choose a mentor by because you feel that he's famous or she's famous. No, go by divine direction.
Okay.
Go by divine direction. That's one. Then generally, I want to say this. We must be careful with mentorship these days too, because so many people we are doing well, and the moment they submitted under authority, they started misbehaving because they met the wrong mentors, and some of them were influenced negatively. Then also, I want to say that the space is toxic. I'm telling you, in fact, one of the greatest challenge of a young minister now is a father. It's sometimes our fathers, people will call fathers, because the fathers will always tell us we are the future of tomorrow. Tomorrow has come and gone, and yet we have not even tested. We are not even seeing signs that we are taking over. So, if the greatest challenge of a young minister now is that there is a father that is against his growth. A father that is seeing you as a threat. A father that should be praying that you should rise above him is seeing you as a threat. He wants to stop you from rising. So that's the greatest. So don't be discouraged when you see such things. It's signs of the end time.
Okay.
So I want to encourage every young minister out there, know that you can still make it. If men did it before now, you can still do it and you will survive.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pastor.
Yes,
so
sir.
can we know you said you are the youth president of young pastors, right?
Okay. First of all, I am, by God's grace, I'm a pastor in Assemblies of God Church, Nigeria. Okay. But also, by God's grace, I'm the president of Umuahia Young Ministers Forum. I'm the director of Jesus Gang Network International. Okay. And I'm also the president of the Teen Solution Ministries of Umuahia Jerusalem District. And I'm also the chairman church planting force of Umuahia Jerusalem District. So let's just call this few. Let's use it.
Only one person.
So this few. So that's for you to know that we are privileged to mentor young ones. So it's not a new thing by God's grace, and God is helping us.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us. Even to our viewers, please do well to subscribe to our channel, like and follow our page. We are continuing this series. We only dealt with the call and the mentorship. We have a lot that are financial ministers, that young ministers do experience. So we have not even touched the finances. We have not even touched the relationship.
Yeah.
I know people are so much interested in this part. Relationship and finances. How do they cope? So in the next episode we'll be dropping, we are going to be discussing on that. So thank you very much for joining us today. We are still Berge Media Studio, still under the series of Behind the Screens. Thank you for joining us today. See you on the next one.